back. First of all, of course, good games. If you have any shoutouts you would like to make, now is a good time to do it. I will actually also ask Zrqkyvx this because I forgot to do it earlier.
Only person I'm going to give a shout out to today, I think, is a really good friend of mine who's been helping me out, and I actually finally decided to start listening to him.
Well, that's always a good thing, sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It definitely showed. The improvement was there.
Those were very good matches. The last one in particular was a very, very interesting match. But we'll get to that as we go through the games one by one, as we always do. First game was on Nimbus, of course, being the really large random spawn map. Zrq was actually able to take this particular game. I'm trying very hard to remember what happened. I'm going to probably have to cheat a second and look at match history.
We had a few tonight.
Zrq says shout out to food.
Oh, shout out to food for
Loves
sure.
food. Food is
I'm going
awesome.
to shout out the person who's holding my food right now.
Nice. So this particular game, if I remember right, you two pretty much just used your kind of more standard-ish play. I think you went for Lingbane Muta that particular game. And he went primarily for Marine Bio play with some Widow Mines to back it up. I'll actually just make the question a little bit more general, just because I know you're excited to get to eating food.
But my food's not here, so I can be as excited as I want. It's not going to help anything.
Okay. Misinterpreted that last statement. Yeah. I was going to say, do you have anything, any comments you'd like to make about game one?
Yeah, I was told to give the Muta Lingbane thing a shot, and I've never really done it I've never done it in a match before.
Mm-hmm.
So admittedly, I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I just know to make the things, and I didn't make the things fast enough or well enough, and
okay. Yeah, it didn't seem like the macro was quite keeping up. Just kind of ended up being a factor of stuff against not enough stuff. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Game two was on Overgrowth. Zrq decided to get a little bit cheeky in this particular game. Went for a very interesting all-in, where he basically just built 3 barracks, built a bunch of Marines, and attacked with everything. So, of course, the first thing I want to ask is, what do you think when you see a bunch of SCVs attacking with a bunch of Marines?
I was mentally crapping myself because I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I thought something funny was up when I didn't see really anything going on, and there was already a bunch of Marines by the time my Overlord got to his side. I think there was 3 or 4 of them or so, and it just seemed really weird. I was like, oh, okay, so something different, I guess, and then something very different happened, and I kind of freaked out.
Oof. And
but
yeah, nonetheless, though, did manage to hold it pretty well. Lynx came out. The Queens kind of delayed things for a bit. And then, of course, a building dies. A bunch of Broodlings come out of nowhere and just kind of lights out for the Marines at that point. But, yeah, that game's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, when you go for an all-in that hard and it doesn't quite work out, it's almost impossible to recover. So, what can you do? Number 3 is on Foxtrot Labs. This game is taken by Zrq. So, any thoughts on game number 3?
Was that the one that you told me that it was just cross spawns?
Yes.
It was, okay. Yeah, I actually didn't know that before you mentioned that. So
I figured both of you might not, and I wanted to say something because it always kind of hurts me a little when that happens, and it's you're supposed to know that before the game starts.
I didn't know. I don't read directions. I don't read instructions. So
it's okay. That's why I went and said it. I was like, okay, I want to take that little piece of lack of knowledge or lack of knowledge out of there, because being honest, it isn't always made apparent. I appreciated that they put it on the description at all, because they used to not do that. It was real annoying.
I'm gonna have to try and watch that now.
Yes.
Because I had no idea.
So that is a thing, but yeah. Other than that particular element of that game, Was that another? Was that another Ling Bane Ling game? I think it was.
Was it?
Trying
I
to.
remember that being a Muta game.
Oh
Am I
yeah,
just
that's right.
remembering things completely weird right now?
No, no, you have that one correct.
Oh, okay.
But if I remember right, that was one where your mutas were actually doing a very good job holding down his army for the most part until the end. But harder for me to keep mental notes on 5 games. It's kind of demonstrating that when they're all long. Usually, whenever there's a 5 game series, like both players cheese twice, and I don't have to do a lot of thinking.
To be fair, I don't remember anything either, so.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just, if I remember right, basically that was a lot of mutas showing up in the base in about numbers of about 20, killing all the Marines, and then stuff kind of didn't develop enough. Really, in either direction, the game continued to go, and then it eventually just ended. Probably could have gone on for another 5 minutes, that one.
Probably could
But
have, yeah.
putting that aside, game number 4 was on King Sejong Station. This is when you started to go back to the started using Roach Hydra. So talk a little bit about the decision to go back to that particular setup and how well it worked for you.
I decided I should actually probably start listening to my friend and doing what he tells me to do. So I just went ahead and did that. I was like, okay, do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. I kind of like roaches. They're growing on me.
I hear it's pretty hard to play Zerg without liking that unit, especially in ZVC.
I used to actually prefer like I guess like Ling Muta. Well, you remember that, but roaches are growing on me. Partially, I guess, just because I've been told to use them more, and I've been scolded for not doing so, and I guess also probably a few things. I know the Carbot cartoon recently helped with it because that's just bloody hilarious. I always think about that whenever I play those things now. It was a good distraction.
Carbot is pretty awesome.
Because I'm starving.
It's nice. Okay, and then of course the final game on Deadwing. That was a particularly close game, I thought, at first. And then things kind of spiraled out of control more in your direction. And one thing I wanted to ask about that in particular was you move forward with the army, you find a bunch of marauders out in the middle of the map. You're like, cool, killing those off. And then suddenly there's Hellions in your base. So what's the reaction at this point?
Freak out and run back.
Run away!
With that many Hellions, though, I assumed, because I am absolutely god awful at scouting. You probably noticed that. I assumed that that was pretty much all that was going to be going on, since there were that many of them. So I kind of chanced it and just went after that.
No, that's actually the right thing to do, especially if you take that kind of economic damage. If you let him go too long, he might actually just strike ahead of you in economy. You know, he stacked his whole army to do it. Essentially, there's no way he could have much more. You're right about that. So it was definitely the right decision.
I think actually a lot of these were a lot easier because I've actually been paying attention to the minimap as well. So
yeah, it makes a difference.
I found a neat trick with that actually. Normally, I have a really hard time seeing the minimap, and I have a terrible time seeing stuff on creep, particularly where my buildings are going and everything. And as of, I think, the past couple weeks, I've just had the game on colorblind mode, and it actually helps out a ton because now I can see stuff.
Oh, interesting.
So I can actually pay attention to things that are there that I really just kind of dismiss.
Well, there you go. Anybody else struggling with that? Give that a try. Maybe it'll help you. All right. That pretty much covers anything I wanted to mention. How about from you, Zero? Any comments on your end?
I think it's important to note that the improvement between the two of you guys, both Zrq and yourself, you guys did really well tonight. Big improvement over the last, three series you guys have played together? First one was a little slow. They picked up quite a bit. The next few, and then I think this is the best we've ever seen you guys. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It's working.
Pretty much.
It's working. So that's really neat. I would say go back and look at some of the older VODs that you guys played together, and I think you could see it yourself too. You'd probably be able to point out some of the mistakes that you've fixed. But Yeah, no, that's all I had. I thought they were great games. I like Mutus and Banelinks. They're very shiny and boomy. So,
For sure, for sure.
well done.
Well, I think that essentially makes us done. So thanks everybody for watching. Zrqkyvx is currently hanging out. I'm not sure if anybody else is here because the viewers list wasn't quite working on my chat. But everybody who was hanging out with us tonight, I saw Dial, I saw Annie Citizen, I saw Case, I saw Oxygen OP. Thanks for everybody for showing up. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'll catch you later.